That's a good question, I must say. So for me, it was when I moved here, I'd been to the US before, but I hadn't been to Alabama, and the South was just different. I was discouraged a lot because I was coming to Alabama. They told me, oh, racism or this. A lot of people tried to discourage me, but I'm like, I'm in my house. They should come and meet me. Like, I really don't care. So first of all, I would say there was a lot of shock. You can never get enough of culture shock. So one thing I had to tell myself, I had to relearn was you traveled at a different time. You came for a different program and you came with your Nigerians. Now you're coming alone to start this journey. First of all my lecturers were white. I'm even going to say that. And I didn't know what that meant for me in the beginning, but it just seemed like nobody is understanding what I'm saying. Now, I'm not talking accent-wise. I'm talking like, I've been calling these people from Nigeria that I need funding.
They don't get
when I arrived. You're telling me stories when I arrived. I'm like, so this is the guy that I've been calling. So this is what you look like. So this is what everybody looks like. So for me, it was like, there was a goal. I didn't have a lot of Nigerians in my department. It was just only one guy that I knew was going to join me. So I felt like there was a goal. There was a goal to like tear walls down. I'm like, people have not torn walls down here before, but I will get scholarship. I will tear the walls down. I will make a way. I would make them anything. So my friends would say, this girl, you're a hustler. Who go say, Amara, you can hustle. So I was just going from door to door. Sir, I need funding. Give me scholarship.
Did you speak Igbo? In case they did not understand English, did you speak Igbo to them?
I didn't speak Igbo. First of all, let's start with the fact that Amarachi. I think my name is Amara. So Amara just gives them an easy way out to just say, hi, Amara. Hey, Amara. Hey. That one too, it has lost its meaning because my name is Amara, not hi, Amara. Amara. Yeah. Hey, Amara. So basically, I feel like settling a lot. There was a lot of shock dealing with my department. I came in the summer. Some people said don't come in the summer because while people will be in the sun having fun, you'll be going to class. So I'm like, child, quit playing. Like, we don't have time for it. We have come to the hustle, whether we come in the summer or in the fall. But honestly, I would recommend people going in the fall. But if you see opportunity in the summer, just go. That was the admission I got. So it didn't occur to me to start changing. You want to go to school, like, I didn't see the point, you know.
There's summer, fall, and winter in Nigeria to even begin. So we
you get my own is go to school and upgrade your degree, you know. So first of all, I'll say it was a lot of shock. There was food shock as well, but I already had my food shock previously.
For someone like you who is very adventurous in terms of like
yes, but like when I say food shock, I've already had my first food shock, but I'm very open in like when I say food shock, like you start hearing things like organic, inorganic food. Then as much as I'm adventurous, I also missed mom's cooking and all those things. So a little bit here and then, maybe say I cannot go a year without eating food. If I travel and bring crayfish, I'm literally going to use it for a whole year because I don't make soaps all the time, you know. So I would say that the biggest challenge was accessing my department in a way that I will feel so comfortable and trying to understand well, like what, and I also put like a lot of pressure on myself that whether we like it or not, we must live with a first class. Like we must have 4.0. Like I would do whatever I can, sleep late nights, find favor. However, like there's a lot of hustle. First of all, you're settling in, and next you're trying to learn your professors, you're trying to find a job. You're just all over the place. Because it's not your home. So there's no, sometimes I got emotional a couple of times and then I'll just shed a few tears. My friend, I'm like, this is just too much. But I know that it's not the point to give up because something good is coming and we just have to keep pushing. So for me, it was like making good grades were not, I put the work. I would say I put in the work. That's what I would say. I would say you have to put in the work, but the system is much easier because we're coming from a system whereby this is a system whereby you have everything you need. So you need to use your resources and make good grades. But all some people in Nigeria and some schools they went to, they don't have all they need to make good grades. Plus, some people are battling with lights and a couple of other issues. But here, I live by myself. There's no mommy, there's no daddy. There's nobody calling me to do anything. So I'm literally independent. So there was a period in the summer that I wasn't cooking. I was literally eating out because I had to study. It's not. I think I spent $100 in 1 week because every day I'm buying food from either Panera Bread or one of those places in the Hill Student Center. And I just had papers to write, read, and stuff. So I feel like one thing that also helped me was approaching my professors. Look dumb, don't care. Look dumb, don't care. The goal is tear every wall down. Find what you need to find, no matter how you do it. Sell yourself. Tell them what they need to hear, because that's what this country is about. You need to tell them what they need to hear. So I walked up to one of my professors. That was a distinguished professor. Shout out to Dr. Timothy Levine, if he ever sees this video. So I was his pest. I would always pester him after class. I'll tell him that, hey, I want to be like you. How do I become a distinguished professor? How do I stand out? You're so good at what you do. Would you teach me? Would you mentor me? And he said, why don't I send him an email and we'll schedule a time? That was the beginning of me tearing down the walls in my department. So I feel like if you're going to study abroad, you need to make your lecturers see you. Do what you can. They need to see. If they don't see you, you've not started. I mean, the funny thing is that these people notice, they see all the things going on. But what I mean, if you want them to see, if you really want to shake stuff, you need to let them know that you want to shake stuff. You need to let them see. Like, I would say, like, one of the first scholarships I got in the department, he recommended me for it. So if they don't see you, how do they know that you need something? How do they know that you want to shine? How do they know that you want to learn? How do they know your goals? Yes, you've paid for the program, but you didn't pay them. You applied, but to be honest, you probably did not apply. Like, some of them were not the ones that read your application. Probably somebody else read your application. So when you've come in, you need to immerse yourself in the program, take advantage of them because they're there to teach you. It counts if they don't teach you well. It counts if they teach you well. So let them know what you need to know. So he was one of my first friends, and he till today, he will still write me recommendation. He will still do a lot of stuff. And I just learned how to build relationships with these people and networking. That was one of the things that helped me thrive and make good grades. So I would be that kid in class or that student that when they finish marking, they'll say, you got A. I say, sir, please, can I see my script? Like, how did I get A? Where are you saying that this paper was perfect? Because I don't think this paper was perfect, but let me know, tell me how I got A. And then to him, it's like, people will just go and rest.
Yeah, okay.
But why are you now looking for your script? Till today, I've still not researched, because I think I disturbed him so much that I just couldn't follow up with it. I just said, let me just take my A and be going, So yeah, so that's it about, like, good grades, settling in. It was just, I would say it wasn't easy. It was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of late nights. It was a lot of proving yourself. I'm going to even talk about the fact that schooling abroad is emotionally draining because you don't know what these people are saying. You don't know what they have in mind. But in the midst of all of that, you just want to be seen, you want to be heard, and you want to excel, and you need favor, and you want to prove yourself. So I would say it's draining sometimes. It's just emotionally draining, but you just have to keep going. That's what I have to say about schooling abroad.
Were there times when it was really very draining for you and you began to question yourself or feel like you weren't good enough, or you just cried and wish that somebody could give you a hug? Were there moments like that when things weren't really working out the way that you had
Oh
planned?
yeah, sure.
What
There
did
were
you do
times
to get
like that.
yourself
There were
out
times
of
like
that
that.
situation?
What I did was I reached out to going to Redeem. Dr. Bola, Pastor Bola, she connected me to someone who used to be in my department, because I believe that's one good thing about having a church community, because they'll try their best to help you. So because a lot of people were public health and all those other medical things.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a little bit in my face. So it was more like, oh, girl, you need to you need to do your own research. You need to find how to connect your business, your degree, your job, your scholarship. You need to find a way out. So one thing she did was she pulled me out of church and she said, hey, what are you studying? I have a friend. His name is Dr. Ibelema, and he will be able to guide you and assist you in this journey. He probably is going to retire soon, but he will be a great guide. That was the first thing I did. Mentorship. Like I said, mentorship has helped me twice. But in this case, he was Nigerian and he had been in my department, so he could walk me through like, oh, this is what exists, this is what not to do, this is how to go about everything. And it really helped me a long way to get my scholarship. He got to know me better. So I would say mentorship is something that just kept me going. Opening up to people and saying, I'm tired. Like right now, as I'm talking, I still recall like tears of like, I'm tired. I am tired. But these tears are not compared to the tears of the pandemic, or when I said a lot of times. I even told my dad that
We're getting to that.
Expect me. But yeah, so there were times that I got tired, but I kept on telling myself that we've come this far. There's no backing down. We're tearing down the walls. Whether people like it or not, we would. Like, I mean, I'm not talking about like people not liking it, but I'm like, whether I just started learning to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I also listened to like this Lovey Ajayi's TED Talk, where she said we need to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I noticed that there's no settling, there's no sleep. And my mom would always say something. She said, there's no rest until you die. And that's when the reality started hitting me that, so you mean the exchange program that I came for last year that was balling, you mean it's not, you mean I've grown, you mean this is like strictly hustle, you mean I have to find these things alone? It was just, and not having any family, like I had family in Texas, but they had to connect me with people here. So, but I'm just grateful to God for support system and mentorship. I had to push down walls, but there's a lot of work to do, especially if you're new here. There's a lot of work to do, but I would advise, take it one step at a time. You would find it, but you just have to keep going. Ask questions, look stupid. In fact, let them know you as the person that asked, was, even if you don't hear, like you don't understand the accent or something, hey, can I get your notes? I was very unashamed when it comes to making friends. I was very bold. Can I have this? Can you guide me? I had a test. I didn't do so well. What did you write? Can you send me notes? Let me read. Ask, ask, ask. For me, that was just what saved me. So tears will not help you. You will cry. You will be frustrated. But I just told myself, you have to keep going. I was asking people, how did you get funding? How did you do this? And that's how I found most of my answers, to be honest.
So if you need, just keep asking. Don't be ashamed to ask people for help. Reach out, open up, because I think it's really hard. Especially this is for me, it was really hard for me to open up to anybody. I'm the one people open up to. So I'm not that type that will come and take, I'm strong. Nah. So it's hard. So if you're somebody like me and you're coming here, I think coming here actually made me become a little more vulnerable, because I never want to be seen as vulnerable or weak. I'm more of, giving all the answers to people, giving the advice. People will not even necessarily think that I'm human or I have my own problems. So if you're somebody like me, it's very hard for you. And which is why, take it from me and take it from Amara, that when you're here, it will hit you. Life will hit you differently. It is the time that you realize that what you were dealing with in Nigeria, maybe you ran away from one problem or the other in Nigeria because you wanted to come here. You face it now even more because you are alone. And when you're alone and dealing with all this stress, you now start feeling, oh my God, all those problems that you ran away from, you now start tearing up and all of that. So opening up is very key. It seems like it's very, why should I tell people but please, you need to tell people your problem.
Nobody's gonna know. How would they know?
You need to.
If you don't tell them.
Sometimes you see people, this person committed suicide and died, and you don't know why. How can somebody just
Mhm.
wake up and do that? People are dealing with so many things. They are bottling things in here. You don't want to do that. So please, when you come here, open up if you have to, ask questions, build a
Mhm.
community, find a community and get involved. Let people know you in church, or let people know you in an organization, the international organization in your school. Let your professors,
Right.
that are interested. In fact, most of your professors all are interested in seeing you if you are willing to let them in. So you are going to cry. So that one is for sure. It will be overwhelming. Even when you have like a full ride scholarship to school here, you
Right.
cry because the educational system is different. The
Mhm.
environment is different. Culture
Mhm.
shock will be real. So open yourself up to, accepting people in, not just anybody, people that you are comfortable speaking to, and then building that community that can help you when things are really hard. I learned that the hard way,
Right.
because before I started opening up, it was really hard, but that's because I know my strength, I know my capability, I know my energy. But even my energy, my goodness,
What happened?
my mom, I should have put this on. My mom was calling. So I was saying,
Oh.
even my energy and everything, guys, sorry, my mom called in, and yeah, I should have put my phone on airplane mode. I didn't. So yeah, even your energy will fail you. My energy failed me, and then at some point I was
Mhm.
like, God, take over. So yes, that's
Yeah.
what you need.
There's that.
But I was gonna ask you, Amara, what is
Mhm.
it like? I know you mentioned trying to find scholarship. Are there scholarships for international students? Because that's what most
Oh,
people are interested in. Everybody is interested in finding admission, getting that visa approved. But at the back of everybody's mind, because we're coming from Nigeria, your father is not Buhari, neither is your father Dangote or anything. So you are looking for scholarship. So
yeah.
what is it like finding scholarships here? Are they available?
For me, I would say that there are scholarships. I'm literally holding my phone because my battery is failing me.
Hey, even my laptop.
So there are scholarships, most definitely. But like I said, some of these scholarships come in different shapes and sizes. There's ISSS. My sister has a YouTube video on this, on how she schooled in the US for free. And like this is not for a logarithm or anything. Like this is fact. Her name is Adeze Akuboye. She has a video on how she schooled there for free. She talked about all the scholarships that you can possibly get. There are scholarships for women that are that fund women initiative that support women. They give you like close to 12K so far as you apply. I missed the deadline. That's why I was not even successful for a very stupid reason. The deadline. So there's ISSS, International Student Body. These people have money. They have people that are supporting them, that want them to support, to give back to internationals that might have made it here by chance, but they cannot fund their education. There was that scholarship. There's that scholarship. Well, I think I didn't get in because they felt like I had a TA and I didn't need it because it was need based. So they didn't give it to me. So of which is I'm still mad that they didn't give me, but yeah. So but I know they gave those scholarships to a lot of people. It's about 253K. There are a lot of people sponsoring scholarship. There's also scholarship in your department. There are people that give money to your departments that you're not aware of. They've said, give this money to the outstanding. Sometimes they say, give this money to students in the master's program. But if you're not talking to your lecturers, how do they know you need that money? How do they even doing well? How do they even know you? Do your lecturers know you? Let me even ask. Like, are you just enrolled in a program because you want to? That's another thing you have to think of. Like when you're, whether you like it or not, you must be spotlight if you want the best. Somebody must know you, and you must know somebody. There's no, I'm just a low key. I don't want to really. I don't want people to know me. I just come to class. Maybe they've loaned you 100 kids, come and do your studies. Even at that, people that have 100 kids to do studies, they will still show themselves. There's so much benefit from showing yourself. Like I said, you have to ask. If you need funding, you have to ask. The one I got was I was recommended for the scholarship. I didn't write any exam. I didn't write any essay. I just got an email. you've been awarded this scholarship for so and so, for the master's program, you've been recommended, it will be put towards your spring and so, literally, you know.
So
So
what scholarship is that? Is it a
it was
school
from my department.
scholarship
It was
for a
so
department?
it was from someone supporting my department. That was so I think they gave it to like outstanding students in my department. And thanks, you know. I'm standing out. We're doing something right, you know. So I'm thinking if I was a low-key girl doing well, I didn't seek for help, I didn't seek for mentorship, I didn't let people know what I needed. How would that scholarship really reach me?
Yeah.
I don't dare people really, is it just me that I'm doing well? I don't know if you get. It's who they know, who comes to the top of their head that they will give it to.
Yeah.
And when you come to the top of their head, they will now check, how is she academically? All those other things. And that's why I keep telling people, you have to show yourself if you need something. So I would say there are scholarships, but you need to search. Your school, your international office, there are NGOs that have sworn to support you. And even if you fall into a minority, there are Black scholarships. There's LGBTQ scholarships. There's so many scholarships. So, but I'm not LGBTQ, so I'll not apply for LGBTQ. I'll not even lie just to get that scholarship because that's the meaning, you know. So I'm sharing this information just to say that there is scholarship, but you need to do a lot of digging. Even if you will not fund like 80%, you can get your tuition down to 50%. There's money. You just have to do a lot of looking and look at the right time because there are time constraints. It's time bound. There's a time crunch on all of them. So you need to be smart and fast.
So, Amara, we've talked a lot about schooling in the US, but one thing that we haven't talked about is landing that job on
Mm.
campus. So this one is the on-campus part. We're going to also come to the, after graduation,
Mm.
part of finding the job thing. But what is it like? How was it like for you finding a job? What are your recommendations for new international students? What did you do? What strategies would you advise people to use? And what is it like, finding that job?
So, first of all, my first job was I worked in a fast food for my first job, and horrible, horrible. But I needed the money. Something has to pay the bills. Something has to pay for something, you know. So the thing that I learned moving to this country is that nobody gives two spoons about your education. Where do you have experience? That's where you shine. So even if you're a YouTuber and you're into content creating, there might be a job for a creative social media intern on campus. That's where you shine. Even if it wasn't for a company, even if it's for you, you just got to show them your portfolio. You have to show them your work, period. And second of all, sometimes you have to start small. You have to start with the need-based jobs that can just get you by. Like I worked in a food place to pay my rent before I became a TA. So I would say like it's quite tough, but I would say you just have to search. Number one key thing to searching is let everybody around you know that you're searching. Let the ants, cockroaches, everybody know that you're searching for a job, even if it makes you look desperate. It's not a job you're looking for, you're not desperate. You just have to come correct. So one thing I didn't really just want to be in that fast food job. I told one of my friends in my program, her name is Danielle. She played a good role in like getting me adjusted. She's quite older than me. She's married. Thing about me, I go for the big people. I I just like people that have more experience than me, like in all facets, because I just want to, know what they know and be ahead of the game. So I told her, hey, I'm looking for funding, I'm looking for a job. She asked me, what was your first degree? I said, I have a degree in marketing. And she's like, have you tried going to the Collard School of Business? Because the communication management school is different from the business school. So this was me merging two programs together, right? And what I did was I said, oh, wow, I haven't actually thought of that. Because guess what? There's no Nigerian in my apartment. I haven't heard of a Nigerian apart from the mentor that someone introduced to me. So this is me breaking the wall so that if someone comes after me, I'll tell you that it works here. This is the button. *122# what you gotta press for it to work. So I went to the College School of Business. I started going to different departments, emailing people. I remember there was one woman that somebody was rude to me. She said, you didn't need to send the email twice. Anyway, why are you coming by the beginning of the semester to look for a job? If you were very serious, you probably would have applied for a TA sense. Oh, I still have that email and I make reference to it and I laugh in Spanish because I'm like, I sent the email the first time and I didn't get any response. You know how you send an email and it's incomplete the first time? So I'm like, dang, let me resend this thing again. So I resent it, not because I wanted to be a nuisance. Please, nobody should be sending emails to people twice. It's disrespectful. Give them 24 to 48 hours to respond, sometimes a week, especially if they don't know you. So give them time to respond before you backfire again, but you have to backfire. You have to have a good comeback. So she was like, hey, thank you for your interest. So rude. I have that email. I'll never forget it. I was almost broken and I'm like, because I'm here. And I started doing pity party for myself because I'm international. I came to support you. That's why you're talking to me anyhow. I said, okay, it's fine. But did I give up? I was a little bit emotional because of the way she spoke. Because someone will tell you they only get job in January. There are TA positions that start half through the semester. Don't let anybody lie to you. So these are things I found out like in my own job search. So I was still working my fast when I told God that this semester, this job will not follow me through. I'm going to do another job. So what I did, since she said I was late for the fall, so what I did was I started reaching out to them for the spring. I went to someone else. I don't even know how I came about this, but I was just emailing different lecturers. I pulled up College School of Business, looked at all of them, saw where I started asking, I'm interested. I want to be a TA. There has to be a door. Door will open. People are TAs. It's possible. I have a degree in so and so. Like, I can do this. I have experience in this. I'm currently doing my master's. And that was how a position opened up. I don't remember the exact way, but it started from a very weird and blunt, rude response from someone. And that was how I reached out back again. And next person I went to now connected me to how to reach out to a professor and how to get the job. And that's how I landed my first TA position. So I didn't get it in my department. I got it in the School of Business. I just took advantage of it. So take advantage of any experience you have ever had. So next I was called to come and interview. I was very patient, prepared. I've never interviewed for a teaching position before, but I asked a couple of my friends that are TAs, hey, guide me. Another person that does a lot of school stuff, his name is Ifeanyi Opala, and he's on Twitter, like he shares a lot of insight and stuff. I reached out to me and say, come and put me on game. I reached out to my sisters that have done like GAT. They helped me. So I went through the interview, I passed, and I got the job. I started being a TA, new money, new pay. I say nice. I went to put in my 2 weeks for my food job. I went to tell them that I'm moving on. I'm not doing it again. I'm moving on, please. And I'm sure some of them were not happy, but ciao, I moved.
So I am very happy that you mentioned that you started off small. By small, I mean starting off, like working in the restaurant or food department where that was like your role. It wasn't what you wanted at the time, but you took that role and ran with it while you were still looking for something better. So if you're watching, you might not necessarily find that perfect job that you need in your first semester or even your second semester.
I think I recall also telling you that, like when you came, that was saying like, have you tried starting with something small while you still reach out to your professors?
Exactly. So you never know. You might not necessarily get that particular role you're interested in for like the first semester or so, but you need to take something. And come to think of it, these are things that you do in Nigeria for free or in your home country, and you're doing it here and you're being paid for it.
Paid for it.
And you're
And
learning skills as
mhm.
well. You want
I was going to say that my first job wasn't actually a food job. It was a fundraising for my school.
exactly.
It's called UAB Funathon. So we do a lot of fundraising with like people we've never met before. So, and I was being paid what, I think $9 an hour. Yeah. And it goes up to $9.15 like your second time. And you'll be surprised how every little job helps you grow. Because when I did that job, I knew more about my school. Because how do you tell somebody to give a school money and you don't know? Because sometimes you're talking to people in the medical department, medical field, you're talking to engineers, you're talking to working class people. So how do you sell your school? You that you're in your first semester, you're still learning. And to be honest, that job came to like, it happened to be useful later on in like knowing my school, knowing students, even helped me like even preparing for interviews. So when I say start small, it must not even be like a fast. There's some other jobs that you might be looking down on, but how do you fundraise for a company you know nothing about? That was something, and it was hard for me to start on that job and asking strangers for money, but it taught me a lot about my schools. Like whenever events are happening, I know because we use
You have
those
to use those
events
events to get money.
to get money. We tell alumni like, oh, have you been to the football game? Hey, this was happening this weekend. We're having family weekend. You might want to come over, come see your kids. How are your freshman kids doing? Like you put all those things out there. And I would say it helped me to know UAB more. So yeah, that's something I would say.
So how many on-campus jobs did you have?
Let's see. I think I had like, at some point, I think I did like 4 different jobs.
Because you
So
were like doing a certain amount of time for this one and then this time.
20, yes, I had to split 20 hours. So when I had the phonathon job in the summer, I got it in the summer when I came, and I got the food job in the fall. So I started splitting my hours either 10, 10, or 15, 8. So must shall make that rent to be paid. So
So 4 jobs, the phonathon, the food, the TA ship, and is there another?
yeah, so when I left the phonathon, something happened with the phonathon. A new administration came. We were all giving quick notice, so some things changed. And I was like, that's when I don't have to put in 2 weeks because we're literally on hold. So when I got the TA, I just, no. So before, so I left the food and I was doing the TA and phonathon. So the TA needed me for 10 hours. And the money was good for 10 hours. And I could do phonathon for like 5, 7, 8 hours. It wasn't even stable. So that's what I just did. And it really helped.
Did you at any point use the career center for your job search?
I would say yes. And there was this lady, I don't remember her name. She was the one who recommended me who told me that, why don't you try? Because when I came, my hopes were high. I wanted to go big. I said, do you know where I'm coming from? I'm working a full-time job, fresh graduate. How can I come and be earning $9.50? I say I must work a big girl job. I must have office.
Calm down.
I must have office. Quit playing. Like,
yes.
I was actually, she was just looking at me. She's like, well, this one doesn't know
Yeah,
where
I'm
she
not
has
doing
come to.
anything.
This one is still learning work.
Yeah.
She told me 9. I'm like, I'll not calculate my rent. I'll not say that. Could make sense. So, could it work? Because when I work 20 hours, my rent will not come out. I'll be broke. I need more money. It's like, can you get me something like paying about 13-ish? Like, I mean, she was laughing at me like, why don't you? She was laughing, but I don't know why she was laughing. I just felt like she was laughing at my crazy fate. But the fate was not even a crazy fate. It was just, I was just being unrealistic. I didn't understand how things worked at the time. I just felt like I've worked here before and I've worked in different places. So I don't want to come now that I'm a graduate and be working anyhow job. I must work in line with my career. Do you know, I'm in a master's program. Do you know,
Do you know who I am?
talk to me nice. Come on, talk to me nice. But by the time I had visited there, they restructured, and one thing I would say is the changing of your CV. When you come here, your CV is in view. All those crazy things people write on their CV. When you come here, they're just going to change a lot of things. I think I have my old CV and like what CV looks like here, my resume. And with all the goals to go, I put Nigerians, I want to show all our accomplishments in 10 pages. Some think you've been consulting, you're working a senior level job with 10 pages. They're like, NYSC, volunteer, all over the place. I did this, assisted this. I'm like, child, if there's something I've learned, there are ways to structure your resume. And to be honest, the best resume I've gotten was a network from LinkedIn who really helped me. She's a C alumni as well. She works in Microsoft. She was one of the best resume restructuring person I've gotten so far. And it was also different from what I got from UAB. So I would say that the career service will position you for jobs there. They could also position you depending on your major. So for me, that I was merging two things together, I needed to be in the business space. So I had to figure that out with time on how to structure my resume, putting in the courses, the business courses I was taking, and like selling my business skills to be able to land jobs in that field. So that was another thing I had to learn. So I was saying there's a lot of restructuring in my resume. I'm never going to lie about that. There's a lot of restructuring. Then, yeah, basically.